Welcome to PA Timber Goose, another lovely Saturday morning. Today we're going to explore White Clay Preserve. It was created in 1980 to keep this area from being flooded by a dam. DuPont owned all the surrounding farms and the property, and he was going to build a dam and use the water for the industry in Delaware. Today we're going to explore the John Evans house, which is the oldest standing house in the park. It's approximately 304 years old. And then we're also going to explore the Baptist Church and the cemetery, which is right down the road. And then we're going to take a walk down the Pendale Trail down to Delaware and explore the nature reserve. Come along with us today and enjoy a beautiful hike through the park. Let's take a look at the John Evans house. This building is 304 years old. It was built in the 1700s. The land that I'm currently standing on in 1700s belonged to William Penn. He bought it off the Lenape Indians. Lenny, I believe it was called, they called them the Lenape, I'm not sure. So John Evans farmed this area. Later he built a grist mill and then a lumber mill right down the road using the local waterways for hydropower. Let's take a look at the building. You can see the fire damage where it's all charred on the front. This was the building in the middle was the original building. And I believe the kitchen was on this side. The servants stayed on the second floor that did a lot of the cooking, and the brick structure was added at a later date. Let's take a walk around the side here. I have pictures of this from the 1700s that I found online. There seems to be a lot of information about this house. Take a walk around here. Look at the kitchen side. There's a large fireplace they did all the cooking in. I imagine that fireplace got really warm by the size of it. There was supposed to be an outdoor kitchen here where they cooked outside. The outdoor kitchen could have been this section right here, so I'm not sure. 200 or 300 years ago, there were always two kitchens. There was always one inside and one outside. In the summertime, you would cook everything outdoors. You can still see part of the chimney stack up here from the large walk-in fireplace. It looks like the whole outside of the building was charred during the fire. Take a walk around the side here. Still have some of the plaster on the inside on the newer part of the building. There's an oil tank in the basement here. You can see it. When this was an apartment building, they had oil heat. This home was built in the floodplain, so when white clay overflowed its banks, the water would actually come up to the house and fill up the basement. But the house was designed that once the flood receded, the water would drain out of the basement, unlike the homes today. And very smart engineering on the home builders, because it's still standing after all the floods, especially after all the large hurricanes we had, including Hurricane Agnes, where I'm sure this whole section was underwater. So I would love to spend a weekend here. If this was a rental property, this would be really cool if they could restore it and rent it out. The DNCR is currently looking for money to restore this building. And currently no gas and oil well money whatsoever has been donated to this house. Hopefully they'll restore it before it caves in. If they wait too long, there won't be anything left but a pile of rocks and broken bricks in this area. Lots of ruins in the park. Everywhere you look, there's ruins everywhere. Some are stone, some are brick, some are cement. It's very peaceful in here. I can only imagine how much wildlife was in here 300 years ago. And this was all farm country. They were running their grist mill and their lumber mill. You always wonder about the stories that people had when they came here. Obviously they came across the ocean on the wooden boat. What was their journey like? To come here to a wild country packed with wildlife, Native Americans, and the uncharted wilderness. Let's take a quick look around here. There's some old stonework here. This could have actually been where the grist mill was. There was a raceway built here somewhere. We walk on the other side of the road. This actually looks like a raceway here. Unfortunately, it's all concrete. Underneath of there, you can see some stone. Looks like there was some water flowing through here, but most of this just filled up. There's so many things hiding in the park here, and the pickers in the woods. There's another wall over there. Lots of cool things in here to look at. Here's another look at the Evans house. Now we'll go down and take a look at the church and the cemetery. We'll see if there's a date on the church. Lots of cool stories about the boy that swallowed the watch down here. Apparently that was the inspiration of Edgar Allan Poe. Of one of his stories where somebody was murdered and hidden under the floorboards, but he could still hear the heartbeat of the person that was murdered, even though he was deceased. Let's check out the church. Here's a very large tree. Old Growth Forest Network. This mature forest is here for all generations to appreciate. Please treat it gently. oldgrowthforest.net. That tree is massive. It's got to be about 8 or 10 feet in diameter at the base. That tree could tell a lot of stories. Let's take a walk inside the cemetery here. Pan around the cemetery here. There's some broken headstones here. Let's check out the church here. I love old stone buildings. You always have that cool moldy smell inside. The really old buildings have seated glass windows. So when you look at them, they actually have little bubbles and kinks in them, which this one does. It has some broken panes. Let's take a look at the glass here. I'll show you what I mean. Usually these old panes of glass are hand poured. In colonial times they actually put lead in here. That's what held the glass in. And if you look at it real close, you can see the bubbles in the glass. So it's very old. Hand poured panes. Something you don't see it much anymore. Let's take a walk around here. Take a look at the outside. I always wondered how many people attended these churches. You actually have people buried on the side here. This actually says 1729. Donated in the memory of Ron Mitz, 1729. There's some tombstones over here. Some of them are tipping over. You can still see some of the dates on here. 1882. Illegible. Margaret Day, Cubage, 1852 to 1936. That looks like the newest one. They're really old cemeteries that are all sunken in. They really creep me out. Because where the caskets are, a lot of those have subsided. So it has all kinds of indentations in the cemeteries. Let's take a walk through here. See if we have any veterans in the cemetery. There's a flag over here. Memory of David Eaton. He departed this life August 13th, 1813 at the age of 51. Mary Eaton. I can't really read that. They're both side by side. There's a newer one here. Let's see if we can read this one. I can't really read that either. Let's see if we can find a tombstone we can read. Samuel and Elizabeth Dennison, born March 1864. Died October 12th, 1882. Elizabeth Ann Dennison, born in 1820, died August 13th, 1893. Lifespans of the homesteaders generally weren't very long. If you were 50 years old, you were an old man. You could be taken out with anything, a tooth infection, a cut, any kind of pandemic that went through the area. The Spanish flu would wipe out entire families. They were all healthy, and then you came back in a week, none of them were left. So here's the graveyard. It's very peaceful in here. Let's take a walk around the other side here. We are going to go down the bike trail that follows white clay here at the end. Most of the park is in Pennsylvania. Only a small portion of it is in Delaware. DuPont bought all this area up, and he was going to dam it up and flood all this area so he would have water for his industries in Delaware. But the locals all banded together and made this a state park or a preserve. I believe Bill Clinton signed a paper to make this a preserve, to preserve it forever. There is a lot of wildlife in the park. We have a lot of deer, otters, beaver. Very beautiful in here. All right, let's go over to the bike path. Another cool old house here. This one had some restoration work done to it. It looks like the bricks are repointed. The chimney was done. Still has some cedar shakes on it. We have some new windows and a new front door. Let me turn the camera around. This one even has a well, so I'm going to guess there's probably a bathroom in here. Maybe this will be a rental at some time. It has a very nice door on it. Let's take a walk around. Got a new window there. Maybe this is an office. Got a nice aluminum door. It has some power. Got a new meter on there. Probably has a 100 amp service in there. Let's take a walk around the back. Got a cool meeting place. Nice fire pit. Lots of beautiful crocuses in here all the way around. Springtime is coming. Let's take a look at this side. There's a big bolt in the wall. I wonder what that's for. Cool. The church is right across the road. There's a park office over there. Let's take a walk down the bike trail here. One of these bridges is supposed to be out. Well, apparently a tree fell on it, but we shall find out. I'm not actually sure how long this trail is. I have a map in my pack, but I didn't look at it yet. We'll sit down somewhere and take a look at it. All right, we're going to take a walk down this trail. I believe this is the Mason-Dixon Trail. It follows white clay, and there's also another trail on the other side, which was the railroad bed. You can ride bikes on this side, but the railroad bed on the other side you cannot. There's not as much traffic on the other side. I'm going to try to walk all the trails in the park, or most of them anyhow. I believe there are 36 miles of trail in the White Clay Preserve total. I'm not sure how many miles are in Delaware. Sometimes this place can get very hectic. It's kind of overcast today and cold, so there's not too many people out today. So about 10 joggers so far and 2 dog walkers. Let's take a quick pan around here and we'll enjoy the beauty of white clay. It's so beautiful in here. It's very peaceful. We walk down along the stream here, see what kind of animal tracks we can find. If we turn the camera around here, you can enjoy some of the serenity of white clay. Here's a fork in the road. Let's see what this sign says here. Penn Delaware Trail. This is a trail I came down, Nature Preserve Mason-Dixon Trail. I think we're going to hang a left here and get down this side because no mountain bikes can get down here. I have mountain bikes zooming past me, and it's a fairly narrow trail. So we're going to make a left to get away from the mountain bikes. That last group that passed me, I had to get off the trail because there was about 7 of them. And they're coming up behind me pretty quick. If I don't hear them, I can't get out of the way fast enough. So now we're going to follow the stream. What's quieter on this section? We'll have to come back and hike the other side of the trail over there that we started last weekend. Remnants of a train trestle coming across the white clay here. How did white clay get its name? White clay got its name for the clay that's in the stream bed. It was mined from a pit down in Delaware and sold worldwide for manufacturing beauty aids. I don't know if they made clay pots and mugs out of it and other wear. That's how white clay got its name. Let's stand up on top of this trestle, take a look down into the stream. Head around downstream. There's another cool bridge on the other side. I always like the bridges going over the streams. The railroad bed that I was on last week used to have a lot of stonework. The first time I was here and I walked down that side, and since then a lot of that has caved in and vanished. All the stones seem to vanish in there also. I don't know what they did with them because some of those are quite large. They just filled the crossings in with dirt and plowed it under. It would be nice if they would have restored some of that because the stonework in there was immaculate. Let's see what this says. Caution, this area open to hunting. Visitors should wear fluorescent orange. Be seen, be safe. Alright. Kind of muddy on this side. Not as bad as the other end. Keeps flowing down here. See what else we can discover. The trail's pretty flat and easy to walk. This is an old railroad bed. There's still some cement. There's still some concrete here. This is over the stream bed. So now I am in the nature preserve. There's a few meadows in here we can check out, so we'll be right back. Let's take a look out in the meadow. We had one bald eagle sighting so far. Maybe we'll run into a few more. Don't hear any robins yet. take a break here and figure out where we're at. I'm in Delaware right now, in their nature preserve. Let's check our Garmin, see how many miles we walked. Go to trip info. 4.7 miles so far. My goal today is to walk 10 miles. Keep my legs back in shape. Let's check our map, see where we are. Currently I'm in White Clay State Park, and I am not in Delaware now. I'm right on the edge of Pennsylvania. According to my Garmin, I'm very close to the Delaware line again. Alright. Back out of there. Put it back on trip info. Still have cell service down in between the two mountains here. I don't know if you call them mountains. There's not a lot of elevation in here. Maybe about 300 or 400 feet. Alright, we'll take a break here. Dry out a little bit, and then we'll continue down the trail to see what's at the other end. I'm still in the floodplain, so everything kind of still looks the same. It's fairly flat. A lot of squirrels down here running back and forth across the trail. We should be coming to a road junction here sooner or later. I just had a few people pass me that I passed this morning going the other way. So we should be getting to a parking lot here fairly soon. So make a left at the train trestle. It's a much more enjoyable walk. No bikes, no mud. Lots of traffic on this road. I'm gonna go over and see if I can find a trail. I came down the other side. I don't know what the name of this road is. I see a trail crossing up here, so we'll go up this side and make a loop and head back up. Still lots of joggers. This place is probably beautiful in May when the spring peepers come out. It's all swamp. There should be another parking lot or something up here. The nature preserve is fairly close, but I'm not really sure where I am in this area. Never been down here. We'll have to come back sometime and do some investigating. Make sure I don't get run over here. There's nowhere to go on these. There's nowhere to go on this road. The roads in Delaware are definitely not like Pennsylvania. They have no shoulder. There's some gravel on the side, but there's really nowhere to get off. Here's another sign up here. We'll figure out where we're at. No parking lot up here. This will be the other trail that shot off to the right that I started to go down and turn around. So we're going to make another loop and head back up to Pennsylvania. There's some more remnants of the pass. There's a concrete block there where the train probably went across. Now we're on the other side of the meadow where I came down. Fairly thick in here. This place is probably a jungle with wildlife when springtime comes. This side is very mushy. Haven't seen anybody fall in the mud yet. I'm sure I'm going to take a lot of this home with me. You need some stone dumped in this side. It's a little slippy. Thanks for coming along today. Hopefully you enjoyed exploring white clay in the Pendle Trail that follows white clay all the way down to Delaware. Lots of miles to hike in here, lots of acres, a lot of wildlife in this area. These trails are fairly flat and easy to walk. Some of the other ones kind of go up and down. Bring some waterproof shoes. There's a lot of soft spots in this trail. Give this video a like. It helps the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button, help my channel grow. And as always, thanks for watching PA Timber Ghost. Welcome to the family. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.